Right. Greetings, gentle beings, and welcome to Twin Suns, Axis, and Rationale Eyes, episode 2, because we're still doing this. Uh, Last week we kicked things off as the peace talks started on Alderaan, seeing representatives from the Republic and the Axis, which is the Prelimian trade route, the worlds along there that are in the midst of a bit of a tiff, a dispute with the Republic, in that they are opposed to random colonists from the Slice venturing out into the borderlands past them, and the Republic is trying to incentivize new colonization about the galaxy. And so peace talks ensued on Alderaan. Everybody descended. Among them are various player characters, and after some discussion back and forth and discovery that a particular Jedi Master, Guar Memori, was at Brintal and may have had something to do with the mysterious fleet of ships that attacked Brintal orbital control and then escaped into hyperspace before the Axis could retaliate. Master Guar Memori has gone missing, has been since replaced on the council by Jedi Master Soleus Silverblade, and she had attended the peace talks along with the Jedi Knight Cassis and Padawan Mina Obriv over there, if I'm pointing the right way. I don't know which way it shows up in the recording anymore. And yes, during the peace talks, the serving droids had perhaps malfunctioned, perhaps acted very purposefully, and had attacked the various representatives, most notably Supreme Chancellor Vedage of the Republic and High Queen Sistri of the Axis. And since that fallout, our fearless heroes, cowered behind the guards or helped to subdue the droids. And as the droids have been dismantled across the palace, wounds have been tended to. High Queen Sistri seems to be rather taken with the Jedi healing abilities that Mina has. And in the sort of uneasy calm in the aftermath, Queen Ishorla Drava of Alderaan has seemingly acquired clearance from both the Republic and the Axis to form a sort of task force that will investigate these strange happenings, mysterious fleets, serving droids attacking but not doing a very good job of it. What is going on? And perhaps some of this investigation will involve seeking out and holding to task Jedi Master Guar Memori. But as we resume, the characters who were introduced last time were being led into a chamber where the Corellian delegation was actually going to offer up a droid that would sort of oversee the task force's actions and sort of look after the interests of the Axis, because Prince Jonash and High Queen Sistri are a bit of an item. Prince Jonash of Corellia, High Queen Sistri of the Axis. And all of you, Phagris Lear, who is, I'll let you guys reintroduce yourselves since we're doing episode 2, trying to establish everything. So, Phagris, what is your character's deal?
I am a 65-year-old retired built ship designer. 1.7 meters. That's about like 5'6", I believe. 65 kilos. So that's about 140, I think, if I'm doing my quick math correctly. I was just here to present a case for possible illegal activity with the ships involved, and now here I am, or with conspiracies.
An important expert in your field who will hopefully be essential in the task force. Mina.
Mina, 22-year-old human female Jedi Padawan who's much more comfortable in the library than out in the open with everyone else. And she's specialized in healing, but as I said, she's starting to learn how to people now because she's being forced to.
I can relate to that a lot. Zaylon, you brave man.
He until recently, well, he's a human male, and until recently, he was a crew member, mechanic aboard the trading vessel Basaris, and it was recently all but destroyed in the middle of the recent skirmish between the Axis and this unknown fleet. It made its way to Alderaan, the closest neutral system it could find, and was scheduled for scrapping. And he's pretty much out of luck. He can't afford to live on Alderaan, and then some Jedi show up and haul him to a conference.
All right. And we will introduce JWD shortly as the story progresses. So, as all of you who were here last time are brought into this chamber, he was introduced last time, but is this guy. His name is Urusel Muizata. He is the aide to Prince Jonash here and appeared to take it rather personally that injury befell his charge, the prince, on his watch. Seems to be rather worried about how the king of Corellia might react to Jonash being injured in the fracas. But as you enter this chamber, he is actually standing next to some kind of weird-looking droid that some of you may or may not recognize, if you know your history very well. And it looks as though there have been, recent scuffs, clings across this droid's chassis, as though it was perhaps involved in the broader conflict across the Alderaanian palace with the rest of the droids, that you still can see various security personnel and cleaning staff of the palace are still cleaning up bits of droids that have just been blasted to bits everywhere. But in this chamber, there is Muizata, as well as the droid, who I suppose Jwadu, sure, they'll say they call you Jwadu, as that's a suitable nickname. But if you wish to describe yourself.
Me?
Yes.
All right.
It's JWDOO00, so it's like Jwadu.
Right.
Sounds French. Jwadu.
I am JWD000. I am a Juggernaut War Droid. Greetings.
Muizata sees the rest of you enter and says, so yes, according to the terms of the agreement that has been met, this will be the final member of your task force. Task Force Rationale, because we got to justify the title somehow. And that is your official code name title, but you guys can figure out a group name if you want something else. But officially, as far as the various factions are concerned, you are Task Force Rationale. And Muizata looks to JWD00 and to the rest of you. He takes a bit of getting used to, but he is very effective at what he does. He has served the Corellian royal family for centuries, actually. He is by no means a new model, but, well, if I may be so bold, one doesn't have to be a new model to be effective.
I chuckle at that.
Indeed. I am approximately 1,000 years old at this point. However, I have been upkept very poorly, with many of my original parts being replaced.
I like to think that means we've upkept you rather well. We've kept you in prime condition with new parts.
Indeed.
Queen
Please.
Ishorla is here as well, and your vessel, actually, Mr. Farr, will be repaired and will hopefully serve as a suitable base of operations for your movements, wherever they might take you.
I was just about to ask about that.
Okay. It's a
And
capable vessel. I don't
seeing
think
as how you are the only original crew member on the manifest who has stayed with the vessel, unless the rest of the crew returns to challenge you for ownership, you will be free to claim captainship.
Well, it does belong to a parent company. I'm less worried about the crew, but
We've
they did
handled
that
the
needs to
parent
be
company.
scrapped, so I assume it belongs to the government of Alderaan at this point.
Officially, yes, but you are free to do with it what you will.
Thank you.
We have, all of us, an interest in seeing that light is shed on these events.
How do I approach this?
You're going to ask for something else?
Well, I'm just gonna Should I? I don't think I.
Could you give us a frigate instead? We could use a frigate.
It is
No, it's not about the ship.
Freighter ship. It's not exactly ideal for a task force, but
Well, if it can get us to planet, then that'll be.
capable of doing that if it's been repaired and restocked.
Yeah.
And
If it gets us to planet,
the crew took with them when they led.
if we can get us from planet to planet, then that's all I'm concerned of. I did have in the previous meeting, I was thinking logistically of the fact that while I'm sure there is a lot of information we can glean here on Alderaan, our search would eventually lead us off-world, most likely to Brental and wherever the trail leads us from what we find here. So the issue of transportation was something that I had a little bit of concerns about, which thankfully have now been answered. However, I do have another potential concern in our task force, that being, well, I may have been out of the engineering industry for nearly 3 decades now, but I have been in the industry of dealing with all kinds of the galaxy's society. And one thing I've learned is that sometimes the best way to get information from places, from people, and is by greasing their palms with something that will jog their memories in some cases. And even then, there are other upkeeps to such an investigation that would take us off-world, things like fuel costs, docking fees, etc. I'm fairly certain our Jedi counterparts don't have much in the way of financial support, nor does our mechanic here, given his situation. And while I used to have a thriving business of consulting more ship designers, I have been forced to close that down, and I'm pretty tight on my savings at this point. So while I'm more than happy to go along on this trip to get to the bottom of what exactly is going down, I do foresee that we could potentially get to a dead end if we aren't able to make ends meet, so to speak.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Wait, correct me if I'm wrong, but
23.
Go ahead, JWD.
Correct me if I am wrong, but doesn't the Jedi Council's ties to the Republic preclude any fees for such matters?
That
I'm not.
depends on
I'm
where
not
you
asking.
go.
Well, to be clear, I'm not asking for payment. I am just asking for a budget that we can use to facilitate our investigation for costs that we could incur on said investigation.
And with that result, Queen Ishorla cracks a bit of a smile. You will have an official account on Alderaan in your names that you will be able to utilize for appropriate expenditures wherever you may dock.
Madam Fakers also had a concern earlier about dealing with a droid, and it was suggested I could inspect the droid upon its arrival. Is that still occurring?
Yeah.
I assumed you were doing that as soon as you saw the droid.
Yeah.
Muizada does look to you, Juadu, however you want to do your nickname, and just, this individual will be looking you over if that is agreeable, and it should be, unless we failed in your programming.
I look over at you and then look over at him and then look back to you. This is agreeable.
All right, so I pull out my diagnostic tool, connect a hard line into him, and look over his basic functions, look for anything suspicious, look on what his primary commands are.
Yep.
It's anything out of normal or anything that might have him turn on us at any point, or anything of that nature.
So I'm not gonna DM here, but I will, because you did do that. I will say like what my droid does have installed. Just walking locomotion, a vocabulator, an improved sensor package, plasteel shell, which is essentially a replacement for what the standard droid would have had, and 2 sets of regular hands. A bit, they're not stock, but definitely they look as though they are, but they've been modified to include posable thumbs on them, and 2 more fingers, kind of a split down the middle. But you notice that instead of a basic processor, which all Juggernaut war droids should have by this era, you notice that I still have my original heuristic processor still installed.
So yeah, as far as the hardware breakdown, that's fairly easy to assess. Like all the actual physical components. If you wanted to try to look at the software, that would be a computer's check.
Yeah, I want to look at the software.
It's going full R2-D2.
Use computer.
Yep.
26.
Okay,
Nice.
yeah. You're able to assess, much like this droid's hardware, his software has seen multiple overhauls through whatever centuries. He's not just a novelty to have about the palace. He's a very functional sort of droid, and he's fully equipped with adaptive programming that might allow him to level up, one might say.
Anything that would concern me towards his loyalty to us versus whatever?
From what you're able to tell, his programming ensures unwavering loyalty to Corellia, and as long as Corellia is behind this task force, that should extend to you whatever loyalty he has put forth.
My character was more concerned about the it having possibly been tampered with by whoever tampered with the serving droids.
Yeah, that is definitely something you would be looking for. And as far as you can tell, the build, the physical build and the software build is completely different to the serving droids that had previously attacked the peace talks, and there doesn't appear to be any sort of organic sort of components or any sort of degeneration that you had noted in the other droids. So as far as you're able to tell, there aren't any similarities that would be red flags.
I relay this information to Farkas, and believing he would have at least some understanding, if not full understanding, of the diagnostics. I show him my pad, and hopefully that alleviates any concerns that she might have.
Yeah, you more so know ships, Phagris, but droids, you have at least a peripheral understanding.
Yeah. Looks good, I guess. My most of my concerns are alleviated.
Muizata says, well, that's good, because this is probably the best droid that we have for this, as much like you, we looked over it very carefully to ensure that, well, to put it bluntly, it appears as though the serving droids of the palace had befallen some sort of computer virus that might have affected their programming, and since this droid is of a completely different makeup, it ensures that, as far as we are able to determine, it will not be affected in any sort of the same ways.
A computer virus, you say?
Yes,
Okay.
as far as our technicians have been able to determine, and perhaps you can corroborate this, Mr. Farr, it appears as though, yes, it almost seems to attack the physical components of these droids as much as it does the programming.
All right.
But good.
I am a fully operational Juggernaut war droid. The virus has not yet affected my subsystems.
I guess it's up to me to see that doesn't occur, and it remains that way.
It is unlikely. I am a class 4 droid. The servant droids, if memory serves, is another class entirely.
True.
But Queen Ishorla, who I guess I can bring her up again. See. Yes, Queen of Alderaan in the resplendent purples, of course, says, "Well, you are free to attend to the matters of your investigation here on the planet while repairs are seen to on the ship. Mr. Farr, our technicians have informed us that though the damage was rather extensive, if they work through the night, it should be fully operational come next morning."
Yes, that's what I believe too, but the owners didn't think it was worth the risk with the current atmosphere in the galaxy.
That is unfortunately understandable. We appear to be venturing into uncertain and dangerous times. Even Alderaan is not beyond the reach, it seems.
Where is the ship currently being held?
It's still, you're saying, docking bay, Zalon?
Well, I haven't seen, Phagris hasn't seen the ship yet. He didn't even know Zalon had a ship.
I mean, it's a mid-sized ship. It's not as big as a Corvette, but it's a fairly good size. It's not a YT 1100. It's a bit bigger than that.
I'm just thinking, given my character's, given her past career, she's going to want to inspect the ship.
Right.
And give the text like pointers, I guess.
Okay.
Whenever there's just a break, Zalon's gonna want to look over the document he signed with Prince Yarl.
Now you're gonna look at it.
Yeah, well, I'm not in immediate life-threatening danger.
That you know of.
True. Oh, I'm still in plenty of danger, but I don't think it's about to happen any second. At least he doesn't think it is.
You know how in real life you're never more than 3 feet away from a spider? In Star Wars, you're never more than 3 parsecs from a super weapon.
True.
Yeah. All right. But if there are matters you guys want to tend to, for as far as the ship or the investigation, and as far as the ship goes, that's something we can do. Between sessions, is actually build a custom ship for you guys within parameters I establish, or you
Yeah.
can determine stats based on ships that are already provided in one of the books.
Yeah, I was just saying we don't need to do that in session, but that is seeing the ship and overseeing its refitting is going to be something that my character will be extremely interested in.
Understandable.
And Zalon would have to be there as well, I suppose.
Okay. So then basically you guys meet your new droid companion and decide, all right, let's head to the spaceport.
I don't want to leave just yet. I want to get the Prince alone one-on-one with him before we leave the palace. But for that, I do want to read what I signed with him.
Okay. All right. You are easily able to seek out Prince Yorl of Alderaan, Queen Ishorla's son, currently serving as Senator of Alderaan. And as you find him, he had taken some minor injuries through the combat in the audience chamber with the serving droids that had attacked. And as you find him, he's fully patched up and just sort of seated in one of the side chambers that's filled with seats, cushioned seats, and all sorts of amenities. And you are admitted as the guards allow you entry. But Prince Yorl looks up to you, Zalon, and says, sorry, I forget your name.
It's quite all right, Your Majesty, and I give a light bow. It is my name is Zalon Farr.
Mr. Farr, I apologize. Is there something I can be doing for you?
Before I talk to him, is there anything that I wouldn't expect to be in what I signed? Just a basic protection for information, or is there anything out of the?
Oh, you're looking back through the document?
Yeah.
Yeah, assuming he's done this before meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would have done this before meeting.
Understandable. Yeah. Let's. What knowledge abilities do you have?
Oh dear.
Knowledge skills.
Okay. Knowledge of bureaucracy 4, galactic knowledge 4, life sciences 4, physical science 9, social science 4, tactics 4, technology 9.
Okay. Yeah. I'd say go ahead and make a bureaucracy check.
Excellent. 10.
Okay. As far as you can tell, it appears to be rather straightforward, and it's like we of the Alderaan royal family and official guards do hereby take into our protective custody Mr. Zalon Farr. Nothing appears to be untoward.
All right. So I've been Your Majesty. I am most grateful for your aid, and yes, is it still today or yesterday? It's yesterday, wasn't it?
It's still the same day.
And what occurred earlier today. I'm but a simple man. I look for little more than some kind of structure in my life, and I currently found myself without any. I'm very pleased to aid you and your mother on anything that you might want, including this investigation. And I would be happy to aid you further afterwards if you wished.
Oh, you're asking for a job?
I'm without work right now, and I prefer having structure. So yes, I'm very capable mechanic. Apparently, your mother believes you and your mother believe so too, or you would not have placed me on this team.
Of course. I'm sorry. I'm simply having a difficult time thinking beyond the present.
True.
I suppose we could try to find some sort of official business for you, whether be it transporting passengers, official envoys. Um, I don't know when this would be, as currently we have more urgent matters, and
We don't know how long our current mission is going to take. But I assure you, I'm very loyal to anyone that provides me with a structure and marginal amount of safety for financial and future.
loyalty is not necessarily the issue. It's more a matter of, to be honest, I don't know how much I can promise if I'm even going to still be senator or even prince once your task force has concluded its objective.
Yes, of course.
I don't know how much you know about the political situation here in Alderaan, but chances are within a year or two, my mother will be set aside, meaning that I will be as well.
I'm sorry to hear that, but
No, we went into this with our eyes open, I assure you.
You helped me when I needed it, and I'm more than willing to do what I can, even though it's much less than what you could do, to aid you at any time.
I appreciate that. And whatever is in my power that I'm able to do for you whenever your business is concluded with the task force, I will attempt to do so to the best of my ability.
Thank you, my friend.
I'm wary of making promises that I don't know that I'll be able to keep. I don't wish to be that sort of politician.
Thank you. And I bow. I say I'll leave you to your recovery, and then I'll back out.
Thank you. As you exit the room, you do just sort of get this impression that, yeah, he's not just feeling tired from the day. This appears to be a cumulative thing.
Okay. I had planned to do a insight check when I mentioned him and his mother apparently felt I was capable, but given the way the conversation went, I don't think I need to necessarily.
I think in this system, insight is perception.
Yeah, I think it's
But
all under the perception banner.
Oh, I guess I can. I planned on doing it, so I might as well do it. If
Yeah,
that's
go.
all right. So I was going to be checking when I mentioned his mother and him thought I was capable to see if that was true case. So I got 19 plus 9, so 28.
Okay. It doesn't feel like he feels distinctly otherwise, but more of a matter of they don't really know the full extent of your capabilities. You seem like you're reasonably competent. It's not like they think you're the best thing ever, but it's like, okay, he seems like he's a mechanic.
Okay. All right, that's all I wanted out of that encounter.
Okay.
I guess I'll meet up with Phaedrus and work our way back to the Vasari.
All right. Is anyone else heading back to the spaceport? Cassis actually, we'll say, has met up with Master Silverblade and is sort of off having quiet conversations of some sort. You're not sure what. Anyway.
Jedi business. At least they left us with the pad one.
On our way back to the Vasaris, I'd like to initiate a talk with the team. Does anyone else feel like we're just being moved out of the way? I mean, there's myself. I brought information against the Jedi and the Chancellor because he came at the authority of the Chancellor of the Republic. And it didn't seem like the Axis Queen was too happy that I brought this information. And then we have you, Phaedrus, who basically said someone in the Republic opened up the stove from the patents documents. We have a rather junior Jedi Knight who openly argued with a master in the council during a peace negotiation. And I apologize, but a very senior Padawan who, if she doesn't pass the trial soon, is likely going to go to the auxiliary corps. It seems like we're all disposable or would be better done away with.
So, point of fact, you're having this conversation back on the Vasari?
On the way to the Vasari.
Hold on. I think I have something for this.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember what all this equipment.
Then I suppose all of you would be present because probably you would want the droid to help out with any sort of mechanical stuff. Yes.
Right. Everyone except for Travis's character, the Jedi Knight, Cassius, who is not there.
Yeah. Cassius has remained at the palace, but all of you are headed back toward the spaceport. Got it. Okay.
Pocket scrambler. What does that do? I think that's the thing I'm looking for.
Ah.
Oh, okay.
Nope. Shoot, I don't have anything for this. Well, I will do a perception check to see if we have any eavesdroppers.
I mean,
on the way.
Are you guys just walking back to the spaceport, or are you in a transport of some kind, a taxi? Or?
I would assume. I mean, we took.
I assume we're walking.
It'll be a long walk, just so you're aware.
We took transports here, so I figured we were taking one of the disused vehicles that the Alderaan has around for diplomatic purposes.
Okay. Well, we'll say you had for one of those transports, and the guards who are combing over it because the palace security is doing sweeps of everything in the wake of the attack, and they direct you to a transport that they've already just gone over with a fine-tooth comb or what's a Star Wars fine-tooth comb, a fine-tooth Hydra's banner. Anyway, and you are directed to a transport, and I suppose if you request to drive it yourself, there's an odd look, but you do have at this point the proper credentials that you are envoys of the palace, so
I can follow it.
Okay.
I
won't have you roll for that
pilot
just because it's a simple matter to just go through the streets. You're not doing anything fancy unless you want to.
All right.
All right. So you guys are in a transport heading back to the spaceport, and Zaylon has raised his concerns.
So, shoot. Should have got a sensor pack. Too bad it's way too expensive.
I have a sensor package.
To sweep the thing for bugs.
Do you want me clarification? Do you want
Actually,
You can see the Bith's
Go ahead,
there, the calculations going crazy in the Bith's mind.
I'm trying to figure out how to do this. Okay. All right. I want to do a deception check. I want to out loud say something of course not. You're being paranoid. Why would anyone think of anything else, assuming that there's some sort of recording device on? But at the same time, do something to motion to the rest of the party that I don't actually think this. I'm just playing it up for the audio, for any audio bugs that may be installed on the cab.
Okay.
Wait, will we have to make like an intelligence check, every one of us, to understand what he's doing? I want to do that. I want to kind of do that.
So I would say, Phagris, make a deception check. Everyone else can roll just perception, just with a DC 10 to just sort of pick up on visual cues that.
Well, oh, DC 10, good, because I rolled a 19, so that makes it a 29.
No, I didn't want to make the DC against your roll because I figure you're good at deception. So.
Oh, good, because I rolled a 7, perception 7, so that's a 14.
I made a perception check. Okay, 17 plus 4, that's 21.
Okay, yeah. Definitely, you don't know Bith facial cues very well, any of you, but it's like, yeah, she's trying to say something other than what she's actually saying. And like the final result was a 19 for you, Phagris, or was that unadjusted?
That's unadjusted. It's a 29 adjusted.
Ooh, okay. I will make a note of that. So, you feel as though you've been pretty slick and have thrown off any sort of scent as far as audio might be going, but. But are you?
We will talk about this later.
Yes, do the sweep, please, droid.
Yeah.
Okay.
What will I be looking for? What specifically?
Criffing droids.
I type something in my diagnostic tool and send it to the droid.
Okay. So I'll allow you, JWD, you can either do gather information to just sort of like get a sense for what's supposed to be on this sort of vessel and what might be out of the ordinary, or you can just kind of do a perception check to look over it for
I'd probably get probably a perception check. Is probably what I'll do.
Go for it.
Would I be able to search my feelings to see if I feel that it is safe to talk freely here?
Interesting.
Yeah, go for it. Let's see what happens.
You both do it.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming both of you would be doing this.
I rolled a 4 plus 4 from my modifiers, so that is a big old 8.
And
Right.
I have 18 total, and
Okay.
I DC 15.
All right, so 00, you look over the transport and you determine there are no listening devices. This vessel is not bugged.
Guys, this vessel is not bugged.
Perfect. But Mina, as you sit and meditate for a moment, you're not entirely sure if it's just because of the fact that you're used to being in, a secluded portion of a library and you're not used to having, people and activity around you, but you do sort of get the sense that maybe what you say isn't going to stay in this chamber.
All right. Then Mina's going to reply with, yes, you're right. You're just being paranoid, and kind of trying to do a facial expression of the might not want to say anything else.
I'm glancing over at you. The ship is not bugged.
Of course it's not bugged. Why would it be bugged?
My sensors indicated that this ship is clean.
Excellent. Good work.
JWD, how often do you report back to your owners?
I am a free will droid. I do not have to report anything necessarily back to them.
But I assume you give them occasional status reports. How often do those occur?
The status reports depend on whether the information is important or not.
Okay.
Anyway, so I'm gonna spend the trip detailing my knowledge of ships, picking your brain on what kind of ship it is, and all the modifications that I would like added to it, and if it can be done. Just to keep the people listening in on this conversation, who definitely aren't real, white noise essentially.
I relay the information. Bill doesn't know much about Star Wars mechanics, but I know Dylan does, so I'm not going to try to keep up with him here.
Oh, I wasn't expecting to role play that. I was just doing it so we're just not all in awkward silence during the whole ride like we suspect something.
Well, basically, I imagine the Visaris as a mid-sized freighter. So, I mean, it's mostly a bulky ship that takes on large amounts of cargoes. Other than that, I don't know.
I will ask this while we're in the while we're on the cab together. Does anyone here know how to pilot?
Yes,
I do.
Okay.
I'm certified as a pilot.
Excellent. Okay.
Not saying I'm the world's best pilot, but I'm certified as a pilot.
Yeah, I am too. I also have pilot. I'm just not that great at it.
I mean, I got a 10 modifier, so I'm probably fairly good. But Zayline his job wasn't specifically a pilot, but he was trained in how to do it.
Well, let me tell you, in my prime, I was quite the pilot, but those are decades past now. I still know how to do it, but not well.
She was
Excellent. And then astrogation is physical science, which I have, so we'll be good to travel in that case. Excellent.
Cool. So you guys do manage to get back to the spaceport, and you're all, like, some of you are maybe on the border of falling asleep, as Fegris has just been sharing decades worth of experience about her shipbuilding expertise. And as you get back, you manage to find your way back to where the Visari is birthed. And yeah, there's a full team of mechanics climbing over the ship and patching up damage and making sure all the systems are functional. And it appears as though they're basically restoring it to as it was, so they're not doing anything fancy with it. So if you wanted to try to put in any sort of special orders, yeah, it would probably exceed your credit allotment. Currently, you do check the account that Queen Ishorla has set aside for you. Currently, there are 2,000 credits sitting in there.
So as soon as we get back, I'm just going to tell JWD to drive right into the cargo bay.
Okay.
And we'll park it in the cargo bay, and then I start going over this transport with a fine-tooth comb and finding that listening device.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm also going to be in the under the guise of trying to make sure it gets prepared to all my specifications, also be on the lookout for anyone putting anything nefarious on the ship.
Okay. So you're basically Zalen, you're taking a 20 on looking over the transport. Figures, you're taking a 20 on looking over the Visari.
Well, I'm gonna look over the Visari at some point, but first I'm looking for the listening device.
All right. So first off, Zalen, you spend a little over an hour probably, and it's getting to be late in the evening at this point. And finally, you determine that it's the main computer array of this transport is set up to monitor, like basically it's your call may be monitored for quality assurance. This is a palace transport, so it's supposed to monitor whatever goes inside of it. So
is it recorded, or is it on does it immediately transmit everything recording live?
It appears to be a sort of a black box kind of setup where it's wiped daily and the data packet sent back at the end of the day.
Well, I wiped that.
Okay. Actually, yeah, go ahead and roll computers for that. Use computers. And then Fagris, you take a 20 looking over, we'll say Zalen at the end of that comes and helps you look over at the Visari. And it doesn't look as though there have been any sort of espionage devices implanted on the Visari, inside or outside.
I'm looking for espionage and any remote sabotage, remote detonators in key places, or any sort of overrides slave. It's called in Star Wars slaving systems to take control of it as well.
Nothing new appears to have been implanted. Nothing really seems out of the ordinary. The only thing you're assessing is that you're finding it doubtful that this ship is going to be operational by tomorrow morning. It seems like a lofty goal.
All right, so I did 27 on that.
Yeah, easily enough you're able to just go into the systems and wipe any data that's been gathered.
And then I'll connect my diagnostic up to the Visari and activate internal sensors and look for anything that doesn't belong. For basically what Fagris did, but with a little more understanding of my ship.
Okay. Yeah, everything appears to be as it was before the ship went to Brentowel and was heavily damaged. They're trying to just restore it, not do anything additional.
Do any of you know how this ship was damaged?
Yes, it was at Bretaria. We were delivering supplies to the refugees when we came under attack by the mysterious fleet.
What planet are you from?
I am from, actually hadn't decided which planet. It was just a nondescript planet being of no consequence.
You can give a region, are you from the Slice or the Trailing Territories, or?
Let's say the Trailing Territories. I'd said the mid-rim when we talked, but I realized we haven't actually gotten that far yet.
Okay.
In the timeline.
At some point in this, I'm going to ask if it's possible, the other party member, the organic party members, if they have a comlink, and if we can exchange comlink codes, so to speak.
We can go to the. Well, I would think they're being replaced because, like I said, most of the crew took off with anything that wasn't bolted down. But
so you don't have a comlink?
I have one. I have my personal comlink.
Well, what I'm doing is out loud, I'm asking to see your guys' comlink so we can input each other's com codes. But I'm also doing is I'm checking to see if any of your comlinks have been equipped with a pocket scrambler so I can give you that code on mine. Do any of yours, have any of you purchased a pocket scrambler for your comlink?
No. I would have just had whatever the Vasari's had on its supplies.
I run a, not I run.
How much are pocket scramblers? 400. Okay, I think I have enough credits for that.
I say to you guys in response to that question, I have a comlink. However, it has been indisposed since a conflict on Corellia nearly a decade ago.
If I take a look at that, could I repair
You
That level
may-
of damage, it would require actual new
Okay.
input, like wiring a new device in as a replacement.
it? Well, if they're resupplying the Vasari, I would suppose they replaced the comm links that were obfuscated by the crew as they were leaving.
Hmm.
So I would, after they do that, I could use that one for parts to replace it.
Well, keep in mind also you can, at this point, you're official representatives of a few different governments. You can probably requisition some basic materials.
Well,
Mhm.
I was thinking it would automatically to be done while they were repairing the ship. They were repair and resupply is what I was assuming. That we have to request things specifically. Is that what
I mean,
we're doing?
they wouldn't be giving you supplies that you wouldn't be requesting. You know, like they need to make sure everything is logged properly because government spending has to be above board.
All right. Well, I'll go through the Vasaris, make a list of all the basic stuff that is normally on board ship that the
Okay.
crew took off with and requisition
Yeah.
replacements. Like for the armory and comm things and food and supplies.
Yeah.
Any basic stuff that would
yeah.
normally be on the ship.
Food and supplies are readily available, and like basic medical supplies like stim packs and etc. Weapons, not so much. This is still Alderaan. Besides like basic holdout blasters and stuff, they're probably not going to be able to outfit you with much.
Now I have a talent called Connections, which gets me allows me to obtain licensed, restricted, or military legal equipment without paying license fee or background checks.
Yeah.
As long as the cost of it is equal to less than or equal to my character level times 1,000. And when we get things on black market, I reduce the multiplier of it. So license becomes normal price, restricted becomes double, military triple, and legal quadruple.
I
Sure.
take-
Are you going to try
I
to access a black market on Alderaan?
Well, I don't think black market, but
Okay.
that would be
because holdout blasters are illegal, but with that, we wouldn't have to worry about getting you a background check or paying a licensing fee for that. So we could get that squared away because that's less than 1,000 credits. So
Okay.
that part shouldn't be an issue.
I look at Fargris and I'm like, I wish I could attain a license.
For a holdout blaster?
Indeed,
You a walking weapon.
I was many centuries ago. My head tilts
flashback.
up and it's like the 1,000 years. Yeah, pretty much. It's like that 1,000-yard stare of like, just like pain and torture.
Surely the Corellians have some. This is me just being like, why would the Corellians give us a war droid, an unarmed war droid?
I show you two tool mounts where my weapons used to be. It's like it was the Criffing Galactic Senate who outlawed my kind.
Yeah. You get the sense that if Corellia could have a fully armed and armamented Juggernaut war droid, they probably would have, but it's maybe illegal.
Well, top of my list right now is, of course, getting the unarmed party members armed. And I guess the best we can do is holdout blasters. That with my connections, that shouldn't be too much of an issue. To getting that squared away, or
As long as you have the credits for it.
okay. So, do each of you have 400 credits?
No.
Who needs one?
I have approximately 3,250 credits. I may have pickpocketed one of the delegates.
Other thing, comm links for everyone, and I would like to get them pocket scramblers as well,
Okay.
just to give us secure communication between us. Would
And
that be
sort of
covered
thing wouldn't
within?
really raise too many red flags because, yeah, you guys are a task force trying to investigate things, so keeping everything secret is understandable.
Oh.
Okay. And would that come out of like our allotted budget, or would they just be able to supply those because they have them,
Well,
or do we have to pay for them?
They supplied you with an account that currently has 2,000 credits in it, so you can
Okay,
take
so
it from that if you want.
long range comlinks is 250, and the pocket scramble, so that's 650 per. So that would basically take our entire budget to do that.
Can somebody install one of these comm links into my chassis?
Yeah, that is easily enough done. Just taking the time to integrate
Yeah.
it into your systems.
Fantastic.
All right. So basically, counting your 3,200, I've got 1015, and we have 2,000. So we basically have about 5,000 credits between us.
I hand Fargus my credits. Like, I hand him half of my credits. You handle these.
Okay.
Leon
Where's the
doesn't hand over his credits. He does not say how many credits he has. Other than, in addition, he's highly embarrassed how much he has compared to everyone else.
right? So
I hand you essentially 1,125.
all right. So that gives us total 4140 total. Okay. So
the
the whole
real guts of role playing games, math.
accounting. I've got a graphing calculator just for this
Perfect.
purpose. All right. So you 4, because we still have a Travis's character to worry about.
Where
But
is
he's
the-
not here right now. He's still with the master. So
Yeah, we'll eventually have him. Plus, I believe the holdout blasters are 400.
Keep in mind, you
They're 300.
also could find better weaponry if you went somewhere else. So, like if you eventually head to a different planet and you wanted to wait to get weapons there, you might.
it might probably be cheaper. We could probably find them cheaper than we could on Alderaan.
Yeah.
What world are we going to?
Well,
We don't know yet. We still need to do investigation. We probably have like the ship taking more than a day to fix is probably beneficial for us because we have investigation to do here anyway. So yeah,
Perhaps we should stop at a space station.
all right. So the comlinks with pocket scramblers, 650 each. We need 4 of them, so that's 2,600. So I am going to take 600 out of. Actually, hold on. How much for the comlink? The comlinks are 250 each, I believe.
You know what? I take my money back from Fargus. Like you can manage the credits. I want to hold on to them now.
Well, we might not be able to get comlinks now. All right.
No, you can freely spend it. I just want to hold on to my share.
All right. So we have 1,000 left in the account because I'm getting the comlinks with the accounts, and then out of personal lots, I'll pay for the pocket scramblers. That's another 1,200.
Okay.
So we have 1,000 left, and I have yeah. $940. All right, you all have comlinks, long-range comlinks with pocket scramblers. I couldn't get you anything more fancy than that. And we've assumed, and I've given you the code I use for pocket scramblers.
I hand Zaylon my. Wait, do we have them in hand now?
Yeah.
All right. I hand Zaylon my comm link. Can you please install this?
Are you guys seeing the map?
Install
Yeah.
it.
Okay. So yeah, just to give you guys and any viewers an idea, I guess we're saying Zaylon's from down here in the trailing sectors of the mid rim, which would be like the edge of known space at this point. Like that's technically wild space at this point. So yeah, the colonists from the Slice are attempting to push into the borderlands and the new territories, and basically along the Perlemian, they're saying no, we have our interests. We want to colonize these territories as we see fit.
Mhm.
So currently, the civilized galaxy, if you will, kind of consists of the northern dependencies, kind of halfway out into the Slice, and the trailing sectors and western reaches. Because at this point, the further flung north, east, and south have not really been settled, and the unknown regions is just the Wild West. There's nobody knows what's going on out there.
Interesting. The the Celestins were involved in Vandalheim, correct?
Yep, they basically are like at they're way out in the boonies at that end of the.
There. Wait, let me see the map again.
I just had an idea.
I
Yeah,
know
Solus
exactly.
is way down
Solace,
here. to the
yeah,
south.
Solace is between the western reaches and the
Hmm.
trailing sector.
Because it's out of the way. It's a little out of the way from the investigation, but Sullust is the headquarters of Sorosub.
Correct.
They did exist at this point in galactic history.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
What is wrong with Corellian Engineering Corporation?
they're not like Blastech, Sorosub, or Marison. But Marison we have to go all the way to the corporate sector for, and they're the Perlemians blocking off the Perlemian trade route. That's going to be difficult.
Well, you are acting
break the
with the
blockade.
approval of the Axis at this point, so you could try to request passage or approval.
You can find anything you need on Corellia.
And I don't think Blastech exists at this point.
Might have.
They're techno union, so whenever they became around. Oh no, Old Republic. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh yeah, nope. The corporate
There
sector
we
doesn't
go.
exist at this point.
Oh, so Marison doesn't exist.
Correct. Yeah, I was
right.
thinking that was like the corporate sector shouldn't exist at this point. So yeah.
All right. So yeah, we just have Blastech and Sorosub as the main two. Well, anyway, we need a nice private place to talk.
Go to my quarters. Probably the only one left untouched by them because there's nothing that needs to be done in there.
Mm.
And plus, it's locked.
It locks or it's locked. If your quarters is locked, how are we going to get in?
I know how to unlock my own quarters.
All right. Sure. We'll go there, do all our checks for stuff, and then see if it's safe to talk there.
All right.
And if not, I have a backup plan.
Given your checks from before, you guys carefully went over the ship. As far as you know, there's nothing, no surveillance equipment that's been left behind.
Excellent. Okay.
You believe
So,
this
what you
room
said-
to be secure.
Anyway, Zaylon, what you say before, Believe it or not, that also crossed my mind when all this was going down. Very interesting the way things played out. And
So we're either just getting shown into the side, or they are planning to do away with us. Basically, is what we're all thinking.
let's see. They're planning to do away with us.
Who's they?
Yeah, that's what
I
I'm
don't-
thinking as well.
I don't know, but I hedged my bets by talking to Prince Ural, let him know I was his man in case he had anything to do with this, that I didn't care, and I'm his man if he needs me. But so back Zaylon's gonna say, I'm gonna say that the Republic's behind the fleet, but I don't know that for sure. But in any case, they have a Jedi Master at the conference. If they wanted this done properly, they would have sent the Jedi Master, especially considering if the Republic is behind it, it's being led by the former council member, or they captured the former council member, which means we either have to fight a Jedi Master or the people that took out a Jedi Master. And
But
I
if they-
don't see that in our repertoire here.
I have killed many Jedi Masters in my time.
Any of them
Well,
in the council?
By the way, I'm just going to refer to your character as the droid from now on.
Upon hearing that, Mina's just kind of going to scoot a little further away
Yeah.
from the droid.
I was going to say, your theory makes sense for everyone but the droid, but we don't know his background, or Mina, who was quiet at the meetings. I don't know if they were trying to do away with us. Why would they include her?
My apologies, but Mina is a elder Padawan, which if she was of any importance, would have already have gone through the trials.
Hmm.
So she's disposable in the eyes of the Republic and the Jedi.
Well, I mean, all I wanted to do was just stay around the library. My master wasn't too happy with that.
Well, disposable, but not someone that they need to keep quiet like the rest of us. So again, if they wanted to get rid of us permanently, they would have done it by now, or they would do something to the ship that would cause it. That would cause that to happen.
Or they could.
And they would know that with my backgrounds, that I would go over the ship with a fine-tooth comb, that anything that they would put on it to sabotage it wouldn't happen. So at this point, my conclusion is that they just want to get us out of the way, not kill us.
Another possibility is actually, can I do a perception check and just kind of like get an idea of what you guys are talking about, like my droid?
Go for it. We'll see how good you are at picking up organic social cues.
Kind of like landed on this. Okay, 18 plus. Do I add my perception?
Yeah.
Okay, 18 plus 4, that's 22.
Okay. Yeah, these organics are being rather paranoid. This is typical of meatbags. So they're very aware of their mortality and are probably looking around every corner expecting some sort of danger.
Yeah, the other scientist that worked on those mystery ships and ended up dead when his speeder crashed because the repulsors. I'm just saying this right now because the repulsors failed, even though he in his entire time as an engineer, was really particular about reliability and keeping everything up to date and maintenance. Don't know how that one would have slipped by him. But yeah, I also agree with your theory that the Republic is behind the ships. I don't know. I still don't believe it's Republic fleet systems themselves, as in my own investigation, going through their financial records, I couldn't discern anything. Looking not only in, because I built it, I know not only like what they needed to, but like the raw materials required, and I didn't see any of those on any of the manifests. So they were either real good at covering their tracks, or it went out to someone else. That doesn't mean that there's someone at the administrative level from Republic Fleet Systems that could have leaked the information on how to make that. And at that point, that's my theory is that is what happened. I don't know who, though. And I'm also not... I also don't think that the council is behind the attack on Brental.
Well, the Jedi Master obviously knew from, because that's what her and the Knight were arguing about. The Knight was not happy that he was not informed that that's where Jedi Master Gowal Morari had went off and why he was no longer a member of the council. So they obviously knew.
They knew that had happened. I don't know if they had advanced knowledge that it was going to happen or if that attack was sanctioned by the Order. I think he acted alone, and they...
He was under the authority of the Chancellor, so is it in the place of Jedi Masters to lie about that?
They've done so before.
Well, you would know more about that.
But again, in that situation, when there was another rogue Jedi, they kept her accountable. And it seems to me, as far as I'm aware at this point, that they have done so again. But we still have but unlike the last rogue Jedi, this one didn't turn themselves in and is out there running amok.
Which is the problem when it comes to Jedis, isn't it?
How are you so certain that it is a Jedi?
Oh, you weren't around for the Vasari's comm traffic that it captured. And I'll replay the comm traffic for JWD.
Okay. Yeah, the recording does seem to indicate that Jedi Master Gwar Memori arrived at the Brintal system and made a veiled threat, and then the mysterious fleet arrived and started shooting up the place. So his last words in the transmission were submission or death.
And speaking of that information, Phagris, I also have the sensor logs, and I passed him the sensor logs, since he'll have more information about the ships than I would.
I read through, I listened to it, and I'm still skeptical on whether the Jedi Master is the one who is the one behind the mysterious fleet.
Yeah, I'm going to also analyze the recording and check it for alteration.
Okay.
Which
does one of you want to take point and the other can assist, or how do you want to do it?
All right. What would that be? Like what kind of checks would that?
That would be
use computer, and one of you, like if one of you has a really good bonus and the other one wants to use the aid another, they can add another +2 on it, so that'll increase the odds of analyzing it better. Or you can roll stuff, depending on how you guys want to do it.
So my use computer is brought down by my ability modifier by 2. So if you aid me, either way, it would be
So you should probably aid me in that case, because I have a
Correct.
I think
5 to that, so that's a
you
10
have an
overall.
intelligence of 20, right?
Yeah.
I bring forth the possibility that the message. Can I roll for perception on the audio? Can I to see if the transmission was garbled or cut beforehand?
Yeah,
or
just
after
listening to the audio without even a roll, you're able to tell like it is rather staticky and garbled. This was not a direct transmission to the Visari. This was an intercepted communication. So it's a little.
Okay. So to me, it's like I turn to Vargas. This casts doubt on whether he is actually responsible for it. Go ahead and analyze it, and I will assist
Well, if you guys want to do
where
this,
I can.
I can do it. I can help you. I'm probably more skilled at this. I can help you. Though
Well,
I'm going to say I'm fully behind the Jedi being responsible for this, but I'm more than willing to help you follow this lead.
Okay,
Can you beat a 10 use computer?
Yeah, so anybody who wants to assist can make a use computer check. If you get at least a 10, you're adding a +2 to Phagras's roll.
All right.
Well, I have a 9 plus whatever I roll. So I was.
Oh, okay.
If I take the lead at this, unless someone has better than a 9.
I have a 10.
Oh, you have a 10?
Yeah. So I guess you two do the aid, and then I see
So
what I get
Zaylon
on my.
automatically aids because even with a 1, Zaylon is going to get at least a 10. So that's another +2. So JWD can roll use computer.
All right. Well, I'm gonna take a 2 penalty. 10 minus 2, so that's an 8.
Cool. So I just get a +2. So that's a 12 plus 16, so 28.
Okay.
Ooh.
As you guys take your time and try to parse through the fragments of audio, you discover a couple of things actually. As you're getting very late into the night at this point, just so you're aware, it's probably getting close to midnight as you've spent a lot of time going over the ship and now going through the recording. But yeah, you're able to note a couple of things. First off, the recording is not fake. This is an actual recording of Jedi Master Mamori saying these words.
That's what I suspected.
But
Go on.
you're able to piece together that he never, like the context is shifted somehow. Like the pieces of audio are spliced and sort of rearranged.
Right. Which ones are the Jedi on the team? Like
Mina and Travis's character, but he's not here.
Okay. Great. I would ask if they had any information on the Jedi, like that specific Jedi Master.
All right. Well, Mina, you know of Master Guar Mamori by reputation. As you know, most people by reputation only, having spent most of your time in the library. But what you do know about him, you do not know about him that he definitely, he's kind of the epitome of a Jedi Guardian. He's a Nikto, and like an older, more venerated, respected Jedi Master, as he's a member of the Council, or was until recently. I'll say actually, yeah, you're very well versed in like lore and history, Mina. What sort of knowledge skills do you have?
Let's see. Bureaucracy is a +2. Galactic lore is a +2. Life science is a 7. Physical is a 7. Social science is a 2. Tactics and technology are also 2.
So, can I ask you? I ask Mina, do you have remote access to the Jedi archives from here?
Would that be something something I would have on my? I have a data pad on me. Would that be something I would have access to, or?
From what I remember, don't some Jedi have remote access to the archives through codes and everything?
Right.
Like
I remember I'm still Padawan.
Yeah.
So you have remote access to the archives, but nothing that you would have to be
Limited.
physically present to. Like it's if you go to the Library of Congress, there are certain pieces that you have to actually go and unlock and open up. So you wouldn't have access to that sort of thing. But as far as the broader information of the Jedi archives, you could try to access that.
Let me see if I know this.
Alright.
I don't. Never mind.
All right, I ask Mina, do you know why he is no longer on the council?
Well, you can make it would be
Gather information.
galactic lore. You can roll for galactic lore.
18 plus a 2, so 20.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
so-
You know that not only is Master Mamuri very well respected, and there really hasn't been any sort of a question of him, having had an issue with the dark side. It's think just shy of Mace Windu, where people are like, wow, he's like, he just goes in and starts attacking and can be rather, harsh and vicious, but it's never out of anger. Like there's no hatred involved. It's just he's a Jedi Guardian. He's very determined, and he knows, like, I'm going to go fight for justice. We can talk later. But you do know, as far as a recent history, he actually was involved at the Vendelhelm incident about almost 30 years ago at this point, where there was a rather tense dispute over the planet of Vendelhelm between opposing forces along that southern trade route of the galaxy. And he fought. He was in the ground forces under Jedi Master Roak, who was also, after that incident, disciplined by the Order and released from the Order, essentially exiled. But yeah, she has not been seen since, and Master Mamuri has, in the decades since, still acted honorably. He was not reprimanded for any of his actions at Vendelhelm because he was not, he was following orders and was acting to the best of his ability. Roak answered, basically took responsibility for those under her command and was released from the Order. Mamuri since has served, as far as anyone can tell, with distinction, and probably in your briefing before you left Coruscant a few days ago, you would have been made aware, Amina, that he had just departed Coruscant unannounced before the attack at Brental, and nobody really knew where he had gone. So when the recording showed up, that was rather incriminating because it cannot be disproved that he was there.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. This opens up a lot. I state we are probably, if you go looking for the Jedi, you will most likely come up with a dead end or us dead. I think we are looking in the wrong place, casting him as a dark Jedi or someone who is immediately involved in the attack.
I'm going to take a look at my chrono, realize it's past midnight, and I think we are all tired and we should reconvene in the morning once we are all well rested.
Let me say this. Well, this is sounding more like the other theory that I had, that whoever's behind the fleet has done something to that Jedi Master, which makes them even more dangerous than the Jedi Master themselves.
Yeah. I agree. I think the trail we go is who made the ships, then we follow the ships to whoever is. We follow that trail where instead of the Jedi, because the Jedi is going to be hard to find. The ships, there's a paper trail somewhere. We just need to find it.
So we're going to follow that dangerous trail. All right, understood.
I ask, where can I plug in at?
And I show him the utility bay that has droid outlets.
Yep. It'd be the charging port where you can just power down, and everybody can find a place to rest, probably rather fitfully until the following morning.
Several dozen empty bunks right now, cabin.
Watch order.
If you like. Who's on watch?
Oh,
I can remain on watch, even though I have approximately 35% storage in my core.
Well, as a Bith, I only need 4 hours instead of the normal 8 hours for a long rest, so I can essentially take half the watch shift.
well, I added mini sensors and traps to alert me in the case of a Jedi or anyone else arrived to the ship. So I'm going to lock my door and reset all those sensors, and I'm going to sleep well with any alerts coming my way if I need them.
Okay.
And Mina's offering to take a watch
Okay.
if needed.
I come up to Mina and like, it is not necessary. I am sure that Vargas and I can manage this watch.
So are we just doing like you for 4 hours and then me for 4 hours?
That would work. Would you like to take the first shift? At least get some battery life left in me.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Okay.
And we're watching just for people tampering with the ship while we're attempting to board, tamper with while we're sleeping.
However, actually, I make a suggestion. Is there any way you can plug me into the ship's sensor array?
I could.
Is he going to?
Exactly. That's fair.
Because I am highly tapped into those sensor arrays more than well, now that I'm captain of the ship, but not more than I should be, but much more than I should have been when I was with the crewmen, when I set everything up when I was alone on the ship waiting for Jedi and the
I'm
like.
also
If you plug me into the ship's sensor array, will I recharge my systems should be on standby working while being plugged in?
Yeah, I'll hook them into the sensor array.
All right.
Okay.
I'm also going to find the nearest outlet and charge my half depleted power pack.
All right.
I'll be right back. Do I have to make any checks for that?
He'll let you know.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Not currently, because here's the thing, Zaylon. You note as you power up all your systems and alerts and everything starts pinging, and you realize, well, yeah, okay, that makes sense, because still there are all the mechanics trying to make sure the ship is repaired. So
yeah, but they're internal sensors. They can be tweaked easily enough to allow for that.
Okay, so you set for the parameters to allow for.
Internal sensors usually run when there's a crew on the ship, so it shouldn't be that hard to reset it for a crew, and if anything malicious happens.
Yeah, I'm just going to be wandering around and mingling with, just making sure none of them who are coming in and out are messing with anything.
Okay. But yeah, that is rather a fitful night of sleep, because as all of you are trying to just doze off, there's the clunk, 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 ching, ching, as everybody's, all the mechanics are tending to the ship.
So a normal night for me.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess Fagris, just roll a perception check to see if you detect anything untoward.
Let's see. 23.
Okay. The various mechanics seem to try at least to respect, the new crew's boundaries, and one of them does confide in you. We weren't actually expecting that there would be people staying here tonight, so this is a little awkward. We'll try to be as quiet as we can. And like in the background, the noise is just as they're welding and grinding down metal scraps. And but yeah, they seem a little put out that the ship has people on it. They thought they were just going to have a ship to work on because they need to get it done by tomorrow morning. That is their orders. And
I laugh and say, we both know you guys aren't making the deadline even with us on this ship.
well, we sort of have to try. That's kind of the job description.
I pat him on the shoulder and say, I won't go back to your... Like, don't let me keep you busy then.
Okay. So they need to be about their business. All right. Okay. About 4 o'clock in the morning, local time, there is the crew shift turnover as like the new team of mechanics comes in to take up the repairs from that point. And it's at that point, it would be JWD who's monitoring the ship at that point, as Fagros, you would have retired. But JWD, you actually start noticing the ship appears to be coming together, actually. Like, things are coming online really quickly. Like, they might actually pull this off as far as, like, by the time dawn comes, though, they might actually have the ship operational. And
do I notice? Okay, since I'm plugged into the sensor suite and essentially the ship right now.
Yep.
Am I noticing anything that they're doing, like specifically to the ship? Like, are they like bugging it or doing anything of that sort?
Not
like
my ship.
covertly. I am on this. I am the one plugged into this ship.
Make a perception check. The DC is going to be lower because you're integrated into the sensors.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Perception check. I got a 14.
Okay. As far as you're able to tell, they're not trying to pull any sort of fast one. They're not trying to put in any new sort of surveillance equipment. And yeah, about six or between 6 and 7 in the morning, as most of you are coming to consciousness and after a fitful night of sleep. Well, I guess it'd be slightly later if you're trying to get the full 8 hours for the full rest. Anyway, but as all of you are coming to consciousness, you actually are recognizing Zalon. Yeah, you're looking, and the ship actually, like, all the systems are coming online on schedule.
Excellent. And since while I was laying down to sleep, I realized I'm the captain now. What the hell am I doing in this lowest ranked crewman's bunk? So I go check out the captain's quarters at my first opportunity.
All right.
You enter the captain's quarters, and you already see that I'm already inside of it.
Oh no! No! You are not in the captain's quarters.
Yes, I am. I've already been unplugged for my shift.
The Alderonans gave me the ship and named me captain. You are not in my captain's quarters.
I turn around and say hello.
I should have put something in my character about their opinion on droids.
JWD, please exit my quarters now.
Your quarters?
Yes, my quarters. As declared by the Alderanis who gave me this ship.
Is there anyone around him?
There are mechanics coming to and fro, like passing by, and one of the mechanics actually turns to you, Zalon, and says, "Do you want us to remove the droid?"
I think I can handle the droid if he doesn't leave.
He
I
appears
will take
pretty
that
relieved
as
at
confirmation as captain.
He takes it as confirmation as captain. Thank you. Okay, so I look around this quarters. How nice are they? Since I basically had a small room and a bunk. and a small work table.
They have been restored to factory standard, so fine. They're fine.
AKA, it's not that much bigger.
It's
Instead
not
of
that
an extra bunk, it's just a desk. That's how I'm seeing it.
All right. So after that, I'll make my way to Phaedrus. Phaedrus, can I ask you something? How knowledgeable are you of legal documents?
Oh boy, bureaucracy, legal matters. What do you think I've been doing for the past 30 years?
Exactly. That's what I thought. Would you mind looking over this for me? And I show him the document I signed the prints.
Okay.
I'm just waiting for the fine print that he's screwed.
Okay. Make
Well-
a bureaucracy check, Phaedrus.
18.
Okay.
Not nearly as good as I thought I'd do.
You look over the document. It appears to account for Zaylon's request that the Alderanian government take him into protective custody.
Wait,
Funny how they would sign this document and then send you on a mission to.
yeah.
Did you sign this by force?
No. Well, yes, because you saw me over in the Republic table escorted by Jedi, so it was under a good deal of force.
I thought you were just a part of their party. I didn't know anything about any of that.
No, they came to the ship and collected me and made it clear I was going with them.
I chuckled to myself.
I go to the cockpit.
Okay.
How many seats in the cockpit?
I would assume at least 4, because this being probably a mid-sized freighter, there would be like the pilot, co-pilot, and then probably at least a couple of seats behind.
Okay, making sure of that. I sit down in the co-pilot's chair.
Okay.
We're not leaving Alderaan at this point. We have people to question.
We'll take a
So
look.
who said we're leaving? I'm just sitting down in the co-pilot's chair.
I'm going to inspect their work because, like you said, they got done very quickly. So I'm going to.
Yeah, I'm also going to
inspect-
find that odd and do like the equivalent of an investigation into how they did this.
All right. So we'll say take another 20 as you're looking over the ship, and you kind of get the sense that even the mechanics, as they're finishing up their work, wiping off the grease on their hands as they're looking over it, they're all just like, this looks on their faces just like, we did it? How? Okay. All right. This job's done. And they're packing up their equipment and getting ready to head out.
I want to speak to the senior mechanic before he leaves.
Okay.
And ask him for a final progress report.
Sure. He hands you the data pad that has all the appropriate information on it. Apparently, the damage wasn't as extensive as we initially thought, because as we started affecting basic diagnostics and repairs, systems started coming back online. It looks like the ship's a lot sturdier than we gave it credit for.
Okay.
I'm trying not to, but I'm being with pride a little bit. But I'm really trying to be serious about this. And I look over the port. Do I find anything? Does it look proper? And does it look like they did a good job?
Make a mechanics check.
20.
Natural or modified?
Modified.
Okay. Can I do a quick action?
Okay.
2.
Can I? How badly? Really quick. How badly was the ship damaged before doing the repairs?
It's impressive that it made it all the way to Alderaan from Brinton.
Okay.
Like, it probably should.
So what I do is I just kind of vent any debris in the engines.
Okay.
Since that hasn't probably been done yet since then. So I flip a switch, turn on essentially the engines, and then just full throttle it up to vent anything.
What the hell? Who activated my engine?
I hope there's no one back there.
No, they would have cleared out of there because as soon as they brought the engines back online, they would have been like, okay, everybody avoid that area.
I go over and use my crew members' mechanics code, which are now the captain's codes, and disable the engine.
Okay. So yeah,
Let me just pull up the
override
PDF.
engine.
Control F.
Yeah.
Restraining bolts.
Unless you want, here's the thing. Unless you want another droid revolution, I would highly.
So I go down to investigate what happened.
Well,
and do I find JWD still there?
I quickly vacate the co-pilot's chair.
But first off, Ceylon, you do find as you're going through the information on the repairs, everything appears to be have been done above board, and the day crew took over from the night shift and finished effecting the repairs, and everything just seemed to come together quickly.
All right, so I thank him for his fine work.
Absolutely.
Has anyone checked the Navi computer yet?
That's been wiped clean.
Okay.
I assume Zaylon would know that, not me, but
Navi computers. You're more lore-wise, Dylan. You know more than me, but they're not nowhere near as sophisticated as it is during the movie eras.
Right.
So there's really not much there. They get most of their navigation through known data, which is not nearly as well known.
There's I think a few hundred years from where we are, there's actually a significant leap forward in astrogation and navicomputer science because of the Hydian way. The what's her name that trailblazed the Hydian way? Anyway.
Hilo Viz. Is that who that was? Hilo Viz.
Maybe.
Sounds right.
I would have to look it up.
so we don't even have the Hydian way at this point.
Nope. You shouldn't.
But I mean, they were probably somewhat damaged during the attack, but I didn't wipe them. I wiped the memory banks with the sensor information and those type of things. I would not have touched the Nava computer.
Actually, no, we would have the Hydian way. The Hydian way is actually a few centuries before this point, actually, apparently. Yeah.
Oh.
Excellent. We can get to Mandalore then. Just left of the Hydian way.
Yeah, everyone wants to go to Mandalore.
Yeah. You know what that Mandalorian was doing at the conference?
I do. He was there observing, just to make sure that his people, not necessarily that their interests were met, but that they wouldn't get blamed for all this. Given I guess 1,000 years ago isn't recent history, but given history, I can't blame them.
That's true. Do you think he might be interested in continuing to see that they don't get blamed for it?
We'll have to ask him.
Because we got an unarmed combat droid and a elderly Padawan. I think we might need some help in that regards.
You guys want to head back to the palace then?
Well, yeah, I was thinking going back to the palace and questioning some of the members anyway.
Okay.
All right. I then come down the landing ramp then.
Okay.
Lock the ship, please.
Yeah.
I don't think I need to tell you that, but
when I was in when I was looking over JWD, did I see any easy way to turn him off?
Nope.
No? Really?
So I reach up and press like a keypad that's above the landing ramp, and then key it in so it's locked up and retracts.
All right. And you guys get in the transport and head back to the palace?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, so it would be a speeder, I guess. So yeah, you guys get in the speeder and find yourselves back at the palace and go through the appropriate security gates that have been set up and make like your IDs are scanned and it is shown that you have the proper authorization to be
I start
conducting
acting.
investigation.
I start acting like a basic droid again, because I'm around a larger group of people.
All right. Oh, you guys find yourself back at the palace. The palace security has cleared you for entry.
All right, Baker, where do you think we should go now?
Well, I wanted to talk to the Mandalorian, but I know Travis also wanted to talk to the Mandalorian, so I don't want to deny him of that.
Well, I'll make it easy for you. You ask around about the Mandalorian, and it's he actually headed out yesterday.
Hmm.
I think the ship was nowhere. It was docked nowhere near the Visaris.
No.
So can I make another perception check to see who's all in this kind of room? Same
in
as us.
the palace?
Yeah. Well, palace. Yeah.
I mean, just in the front room is just security personnel.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about what was her name? The Axis lady.
Sistry.
Yeah, there.
You do have an in with Sistry. Mina.
That we do.
Mm. So Axis was at the Axis was at Brental, correct?
Yeah, they were the defending group.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brent Hall is
Okay.
part of the Axis.
Yeah, we'll pay her a visit. I guess in the walk too. Things I want to get out of her. At the meeting, she seems the only one who wasn't completely persuaded with the evidence that I had brought about the ships that attacked Brentel being of stolen origin. I'd like to get more information from her on if she knows more on that, and I'd also like to get any sensor data she has from the attack in the system of possible hyperspace vectors that those ships could have come from.
Okay.
If they haven't already done that.
Well, if you're wanting to talk to Sistry, we'll do a quick retcon then, because she's actually still back at her ship in the spaceport. So before you guys depart the spaceport, you head over and get clearance to enter the docking bay with her ship, and it's this elegant, large, sleek vessel, befitting of a high queen of a vast swath of space. And you make your approach towards the vessel. Mina, you recognize a few of the security personnel that are attending her, and you are granted entry into the ship. And in the main lounge, Sistry is still in like a new, colorful, different, elegant draping gown, is just sort of reclining on one of the sofas with a beverage of some sort in a goblet, and is sipping away, appears to be rather distracted. Is still patched up from the previous day, but is just kind of ignoring that seemingly and continuing about her usual habits.
Question for the game master.
Go for it.
I'm assuming Zaylon doesn't know, but how does he know how loosely the Axis are organized? I know they're like different systems and ceases from the Sistari? And are they like a tight knit group or a loose group? And would Zaylon know that one way or the other?
Historically speaking, the Perlemian worlds forming the Alsacan axis have been more closely knit in recent centuries. They're a little more detached and aligned more so in name only. But since the end of the Galactic Wars or Sith Wars, whatever you want to call them, they've kind of bonded more so over their shared lifestyles, interests, and motivations, and it's more closely identifying with each other as sort of the right thinkers of the galaxy, that like we are the Perlemian worlds, we know how best to govern the galaxy. And you wouldn't call them incredibly loyal to each other, but they at least recognize they have similar ways of thinking, if that makes sense.
And I'm guessing Zaylon has an inkling of this, but not like in depth as what you just said.
There's nope. There it is. Okay. There's the street. But yeah, as you all enter the larger chamber, the security personnel all sort of rest their hands on their blasters, but she sees Mina and just like finishes her drink quickly and assumes her feet. I am so sorry. In all of the chaos yesterday, I completely forgot to get your name, but I've gotten it since, and I'm very happy to see you, Padawan Mina.
Mina's going to bow politely. It's good to see you as well, Your Majesty. How are you feeling?
I feel, to be honest, they have me on a few different substances that I quite enjoy.
That does make sense.
Yes, future morphine addict.
Is holding back just for frame of reference. He's trying to stay behind the rest of the group.
Okay.
We've been put in charge of an investigation and was wondering if we could ask you a few questions.
Oh, yes, of course. If you make yourselves comfortable, and we'll get everyone whatever drink of choice. And well, there's no reason we can't make this enjoyable. So she assumes her seat again and is like, please ask your questions, and I might have a few of my own, but I'll cooperate with the investigation. I understand you are all very important individuals now, so I won't stand in the way of your execution.
Thank you. And Mina's just kind of going to like look over to Vegas.
I'm going to do a perception to see if that was just like a slip of the tongue or like a Freudian slip when she said execution.
What? You guys are paranoid or something.
17.
She didn't appear to mean anything by it, but maybe it was a subconscious thing. You're not sure?
Excellent. Well, yes. By the way, forgive me for my presentation at the summit yesterday. I was only making the case as I for the information that I had gleaned at the time.
Sorry, what are you apologizing for?
Well,
I'll give
never
you
mind
some
then.
advice here. If I don't recall you wronging me, I would advise not reminding me.
Understood. We did have some questions. Were you by chance or anyone you know and involved at these skirmishes in Brintel, at least there? Or if not, do you know of any way we can access some of the sensor data about the battle that happened. More specifically, the approach vectors that the various unidentified ships came in, so we can attempt to backtrack to see where they could possibly have jumped in from. And if you have that data, I have an empty data card that you could put it on.
Oh, I don't have it personally, but I could acquire it for you, or you could contact the Brintile orbital control directly and make your inquiry yourselves.
I guess we'll do that.
Be sure to drop my name.
Oh, we will.
I'm told it opens quite a few doors.
Well, I've taken the hint that I shouldn't bring up the pseudo accusation that they had procured the illegal ships. Then, anyone else got anything?
Zaylon's being quiet and making sure he's as far away from the queen as possible, as he's pretty sure he upset her by destroying whatever tactics she had for the conference.
Triple Zero is just standing there, remaining quiet.
You keep on adding zeros, we're gonna have like 20 zeros eventually.
I only have 1 0 just for that nickname.
000. Where are you, Coruscant now?
Yeah, well, that's what I was trying to freaking reference. All right. Griffin reference.
That was the second book. It was like one of the Republic Commando books is called 000, right?
Yeah, second book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. Anything else we can get out of her?
She does look over to you, Mina, and just says, "So, why have you not undergone your trials yet? That's what they're called, yes?"
Yes. It's a bit of a long story. I've
been told I should rest and take it easy, so apparently I have quite some time for this.
I know that if I pass the trials, then I don't get to be like in the library all day, and they want me to go through the galaxy and stuff, and
This is a bad thing.
I mean, it's just kind of, I'm just much more comfortable in the library.
But isn't that then why you should, as a Jedi, be going outside of it?
I guess. I mean, it just doesn't know what else to say at this point. She's just like, uh-oh.
How old were you when you were taken from your family, or is that a callous question?
I was about 4 or 5. I don't remember exactly. I was pretty young.
Well, from what I understand, the Jedi do not like to have students with prior attachments, yes?
Yes.
Yet you seem to have forged an attachment with your books.
I guess you're right.
Don't sound so incredibly surprised. I am a queen. We have some decorum and wisdom.
I appreciate it, Your Majesty. I have much to meditate on.
You'll find you're very fortunate, though. I've taken an interest in you. I thought you should know.
Thank you.
Do you know what that means?
I'm afraid I don't. I'm sorry.
He kind of scooches closer to you and just drapes an arm over your shoulder, sets down the drink. It means I'm going to be your confidant and your mentor and whatever else your Jedi Master cannot provide, namely money.
Wow. That's very generous of you.
I know.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You do, of course, understand that this will not include any sort of official position. I have no wish to start anything conflicting with the Jedi Order. I don't wish to steal one of their students or anything, but I will endeavor to help you as you set out on the galaxy and explore bettering yourself.
Thank you very much, Your Majesty. And Mina's just still kind of just like bowing her head.
So I'll be very interested to learn what sort of components you'll be using to forge your light sword.
Lightsaber.
Yes.
Yes, of course. I can keep you updated. When I actually learn how to do one.
When the time comes, perhaps I can recommend some elements from my home world. We have a wonderful array of jewels, gemstones that might be useful as a crystal. And she like starts going into like the full list of like how they have the best alloys and crystals and everything. It's like if you want a lightsaber that will really catch everyone's eye, you need Alsacan components.
That is quite impressive. I will definitely remember that when the time comes. Yes.
Good.
Should have gone to her for finance. Oh, well.
Well, let's see, private.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, okay, so now we got someone bribing off a Padawan here, but and Mina's too naive to know what's going on.
Have you heard the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise moment going on, it feels like?
Yeah, I don't suppose it's a good idea to mention the illegal ships. I don't think she knows anything about them. Yeah, I got nothing else.
Okay. Is there any other guidance I might be able to offer?
Not at this time, Your Majesty. Thank you so much for seeing us.
Of course. She rises and escorts you actually out down towards the boarding ramp with her security all like flanking and enclosing her. And as she sees you off at the bottom of the ramp, she actually just sort of catches your arm, Mina, and she says, and of course we have the best potential, well, perhaps a certain Alsacan noble could help you achieve greater things than you might alone. If the Jedi would approve such a thing.
Why that's happening when she grabs Mina, I kind of side over to Figris and say, she hasn't even built a lightsaber yet?
Oh!
And yeah,
I shrug.
She's like, it needn't even be about attachment. You could, of course, have a marriage of convenience and just never see them and be about the galaxy with your Jedi business. But securing a position on Alsacan for whatever you might wish in the future.
Much to think about. Yes, I will definitely think about that.
We breed fine stock.
Okay. Thank
Is she
you.
Is she an Arcanian or something?
Mina's just like completely flustered at this point now, figuring out what she's saying.
Yeah, she's not about slavery and any that sort of thing, but she's very much about she's instructing this naive Jedi girl about how one conducts oneself in high court, and that includes having the right person on your arm. And anyway,
If this goes on for much longer, I'm going to literally drag Mina with us. Come on, we have more people to interview.
And Mina's just, not hopefully not where High Queen can see, and just like, thank you.
Slightly, of course. It's like, if you'll excuse us, we have more people. We have more people to interview, and we are running out of daylight.
Of course. As I said, you are very important people. Welcome to the club.
I nod curtly, and we leave for the palace. What just happened?
I just laughed. I just laughed for some
The princess was essentially grooming Mina.
Yeah. Pretty much the High Queen is sitting here going, oh, okay, I'm going to give you what you need. As long as, not messing with the Jedi, but oh yeah, if you need like a side guy or something for arm candy, we got you as well.
Yep. So that was your first witness. Who do you go to next?
All right, I'm not going to get any information. I don't think I want to get any information out of, but I just realized something. So, Prince Jonas of Corellia may prove useful contact.
I'm also gonna stand back in this conversation as well.
I might as well come forward here.
Well, so you're going to see Prince Jonas next?
I will be right back.
Okay. For the sake of
Is he still here?
For the sake of narrative flair, we'll say that as you're leaving Sistri's ship, Jonas is actually on his way toward it as he is going to visit his lady, and his security retinue as well is surrounding him. But Task Force Rationale, yes.
The very ones, yes. Interesting. We were actually on our way to see you.
Well, the Force works as it, like this, apparently.
You have a very, I must compliment you on your droid. It is, a very, how do I put this? Inventive.
Yes, I would agree.
However, my companions and I have run into a little bit of a snag. And as you're well aware, due to various laws here on Alderaan and within the governing bodies of battle droids, as well as my companions of ship logger, we find ourselves in a little bit of a lack of procurement of. Oh, there we go. We find ourselves in a bit of a situation where, through all of our research, it seems that we are going after some pretty dangerous beings. However, aside from the Jedi and a pitiful holdout blaster that I purchased some while ago, we don't seem to have anything to deal with said highly motivated and armed individuals. Now, I'm sure you're. While I'm sure you like to stay out of these measures, I'm sure you, as a prince, are somewhat aware of the dealings with Corellian arms and where they could, where certain headquarters or planets that offer some of your weapons for a little bit. Not necessarily lower price, but with a little bit less questions asked, who would be willing to trade them for some witting investigators into some more dangerous beings. I was simply asking to see if we could get a word into them. Yeah, just a word into them that we'll be arriving and where to look for them.
A word I can give. it would be a violation of our system's trade laws for me to enforce any sort of royal discount, I'm afraid.
Procurement is all I'm really looking for at this point.
Then
So
I can
anything you
open
can.
the right avenues for you.
Excellent. Where would be a good? If you would have a suggestion of where we could go to make the procurement a little bit easier, if you will.
Well, the tourism board would be furious with me if I recommended anywhere but Corellia. But we do have reach elsewhere in the galaxy. Coruscant can represent some of our affairs. We do admittedly have arms along the Perlimian, and of course the Corellian run as a whole. And any of the major worlds throughout the slice will be able to probably get a hold of whatever you might be seeking.
Excellent. I actually think Corellia is in the core, so I think it's on our way to Brintel, isn't it?
Well, let me bring up the map here. Corellia. Where'd you go? That looks like Corellia. It's so small.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Corellia is there. You're at Alderaan, which is around here. I don't know. Yeah. Can you guys even see my cursor? Am I just saying?
Yeah, we can just see it.
Okay. So
It's going again.
Close. I believe it's close to Kuat, Alderaan, and so Corellia is not technically on your way to Brintel if that's where you wanted to head next, but
yeah,
the major hyperlanes are around the core, so it wouldn't take too incredibly long if you wanted to head to Corellia. But as he is saying, they do have outposts, along the Perlimian, so probably even at Brintel you could drop a name or two.
I think that's how we'll go. We'll go to Brintel and look there. That's all I wanted out of him, just to kind of role play the connections part of the lineage trait. So
we have JWD more than once.
I don't know what happened there. My
Yeah.
program just stopped working again. Doing stupid stuff.
Anyone else have anything to add? Well, y'all are hiding from him.
Yeah, hey, I upset
just
these
like-
people.
Mina's just still completely flustered from that interaction with the queen.
Fair enough.
The queen obviously wasn't happy that I ruined whatever plan she had for the summit. So I'm not getting. I'm staying away from the Access delegation.
Yeah, that's all. I just wanted to negotiate, have him giving us a word in so we can get blasters when we need to for the rest of the party.
Well, why? Like if you ever said blasters allowed, he'd be like, well, why limit yourself to blasters? And he like opens his cloak and you see like his Corellian cutlasses at his hips.
Well, I just said procure weapons, but I meant blasters in my mind, but it's certainly closer than Solist or the Techno Union, wherever they are, wherever they're based these days.
Yeah. Pretty much anywhere in the core is like a hop, skip, and a jump from somewhere else in the core.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So through Doors connection, we can get access to, once around Brintel, we can get access to the star charts and all the data on the battle, so we can backtrack that. We have a way of getting weapons. Any ideas on where to go next?
Can we not go to Corellia?
Unless we want to just start making people angry here by asking questions they don't want us to ask. we should probably go to the Brental
Hmm.
and pick supplies up on the way, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's also how I'm looking at it. I don't want people on the potential scent that we're onto them at this point. But before we leave, we need to pick up our missing Jedi. So
That can happen off screen if it needs to. I don't want to speak for
Yeah.
Cassis as far as what he would say.
Do I want to talk to the Chancellor to get him to put a formal investigation into the findings I'd have?
It's up to you.
Should we really? May I never did ask this, but do you guys know how the ships looked in the mysterious fleet?
Oh yeah, they looked exactly like the ships I designed 30 years ago.
Well, almost exactly.
Almost exactly. Yeah.
For which company?
RFS, Republic Fleet Systems.
Republic Fleet Systems. Wait, where is their main headquarters at?
I believe it's on Coruscant because they're.
Yep.
Perhaps that is a logical next step to go after Brental. Find out where these ships came from. Perhaps sneak inside the administrative building or the shipwrights.
If we haven't already, we're gonna bid the Prince Welds and move on.
I'm surprised no one here is asking for my restraining bolt and or droid collar.
Well, there's no restraining bolt in the core rulebook.
Yeah, there is. Well, not in the core rulebook, but in the scavenger guide.
Yeah,
droids,
in the droid book. Yeah.
Well, I guess.
I swear, if you put one of those things on me, I jab a finger at you.
I guess I would like to. I'd like to pose the idea to the rest of the party somewhere secure.
Do you want to head back to your ship?
Yeah.
Okay. So you bid farewell to Prince Jonash, and he.
You guys bid farewell to him. I talked to him a little bit more after you guys leave. Just kind of.
We'll
just do that. Nothing specific.
You'll make your way back to the ship, JWD?
Yes. I will be along shortly.
When we get back to the ship, I disable JWD's ability to access the ship sensor. And I work my way to the droid repair bay and grab a restraining bolt.
Oh dear. Well, what I was going to ask, even though I think I know the answer to this, but I'm going to say we are still playing the role of the goody two-shoes investigators doing our investigations. I don't expect to get any information out of this, but I'm not sure how it would look if I didn't. If we're operating under the assumption that we are being watched and we are playing up that we don't know we're being watched, me not asking someone to look into do an official inquiry into the stolen ships may possibly look suspicious.
Well, if we're planning to do that ourselves, why would that look suspicious? If that's something on our own agenda.
Do they know that's on our agenda?
No, but when we get the Coruscant and make it and start asking questions, they'll know what's on our agenda.
So while you guys are having this conversation, JWD, are you still, or were you wanting to say something particular to Prince Jonas? The droid?
No, nothing. No, just
Okay.
just kind of like a cordial, like small conversation
Okay.
between us. Nothing important or story-wise related.
Okay.
Just kind of, since he is technically my owner.
All right. If he's able to assess rather quickly that it is nothing important, he'd very quickly actually dismiss you and be like, "I'm actually on my way to see the Queen, so you understand. I hope."
I totally agree. I will make my way back to my compatriots.
Thank you.
Had safe travels back to Corellia,
Okay.
and then I go back
All right.
with the others. So
So yeah, back at the ship.
So I guess we are under, unless Mina has something to say about this, you're of the opinion that we should not go to the Chancellor at this point and just head to our next point in the investigation, either being Coruscant or Brental?
where is Brental in relation to Coruscant?
They like directions.
Not really. It'd be like we'd
Okay.
You see, Coruscant is right at the base of the Northern Dependencies. Brintal is actually really close.
Alderaan? Where's Alderaan at?
It's closer to Kuat around here.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
it's kind of on. It's a little bit out of the way, but it's in like the right direction.
Maybe
it'd be
let
on the
the
same
Chancellor
hyperspace line. It'd be on the main hyperspace route
And actually,
to Brental to Coruscant. So we can
if we're getting supplies and weapons, specifically weapons, it may be better to go to Coruscant first before going to Brental, because I think things have a far higher possibility of going south at Brental than Coruscant.
I think the opposite. I think Coruscant is so vast and huge, we could easily get lost and say, "Oh, we don't know what happened. The underworld must have got a hold of them in Coruscant."
Mina?
Wouldn't it make sense if we're going to make it seem like we're playing their game to ask the Chancellor maybe some empty questions just to make it look like we're doing our job of we've already asked the access and now we're asking the Republic, just in case we're being watched.
Yeah, that's a good point. We have a meeting with all four of the Delt, which means we also need to have a meeting with the Queen of Alderaan.
It's up to you guys. How you wish to conduct yourselves.
Let's go to Alderaan first, because we can get information.
Alderaan first. We're on Alderaan.
No. The Queen.
First.
Yeah, I think the Queen first, because we actually can get legitimately asked for information of the palace security and any information they've gleaned from the droids, as we've done our own inquiries into that, but we can cross-reference our data with theirs or see if they've found anything new. Which is, I guess, a legitimate inquiry that we could make.
As far as I know, their information about the droids is what I gave them, but we can ask.
Yeah, it's been a whole day of. They've had a whole day since we've done that of analyzing things in a lab. And again, it looks like, and again, we're following our due diligence of asking everyone, at least from someone observing us. So.
All right. I guess we're heading back to the palace now after returning to the Visaris. Okay.
All right. It's not
okay.
you don't kind of.
CWD on the way. He's gonna be coming while we're going. Okay. So I drive us back to the palace, I guess.
All right. So you head back to the palace, go through the various security checkpoints, and head inside. And you request audience with Queen Ashorla.
Yes.
Right. She readily meets with you and looks somewhat recovered, at least from the attack of the day before, and just welcomes you into a small private audience chamber.
My Majesty, Your Majesty, and I give a light bow. You're looking much better.
Thank you. Well, have you managed to learn anything since yesterday?
Not much. I don't think we're going to learn much more right here, but we just want to question everyone, make sure we don't miss anything,
Of course.
which is actually why we are here. Find out if you've learned anything more since yesterday.
Well, all we've been hearing is chatter across the HoloNet. Apparently, there are those at Mon Calamari who are claiming that they have official Jedi backing in their endeavors to ferry colonists past the Perlemian. And the Jedi, of course, deny this.
Interesting.
Yes. There are a few missing Jedi and former Jedi that aren't accounted for that might account for that. We'll have to look into that. Thank you.
Well, that is it's widespread across the HoloNet. That is hardly any sort of sleuthing on our part. But
I'm not. Go on.
it is troubling, however, that the Jedi's name is being invoked seemingly at every turn.
These Mon Calamari, do they have any ties to any organizations by chance who have been saying the individuals who have been saying this?
Well, they are officially unaffiliated with the Mon Calamari government. They are a private organization that, well, they were transporting goods in their vessels until recently, when they apparently saw a humanitarian or business opportunity, not sure which, but they have been endeavoring to take colonists from the Slice into the borderlands, have been halted along the Perlemian.
If they were in the trade business, would Zaylon know anything about them?
You would probably at least know them by reputation. There are many Mon Calamari organizations that handle trade throughout, especially that outer region of the Slice.
Fascinating.
I might have a few contacts I can talk to. I have to see.
Well, that is why we have appointed each of you as members of this task force. You all have different strengths and abilities that will hopefully be useful in your endeavors. Is there any other way I could be useful?
Bregus, did you have anything else? If not, we should probably leave the queen to her recovery.
Yeah, she's given us more than enough as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. She
Thank you for your time, Your Majesty. I give a light bow.
Yeah, she bows and bids you all farewell and good luck.
As we walk out, I say I'll have to send out some hollow messages, I guess, and
Yeah,
remind everyone involved.
Yeah, I'll have to send some contact information out too, or not. I'll send some mentions to my contacts as well. We have a new lead on where the stolen ships could have been made.
Okay.
All right, going to see the chancellor now.
Yeah,
Okay.
I actually have a thing I can ask him. Kind of going with your plan as well, Bill, or Zaylon.
Again, I hold back in this conversations. Try to stay the back.
Okay. You approach Chancellor Vettage and his security retinue, and you are cleared once again, patted down, made sure you have proper authorization to approach, and he nods greeting to each of you. Welcome. Sorry, I'm even here. I can't get away from approving new legislation. There are members of the Senate trying to corner me into, well, constructing another blockade, which I feel is the last thing the galaxy needs right now.
I can agree to that. Blockade will just lead to more violence, inevitably, as the colonists get more fancy.
Or in this case, I think further desperation. There are many colonists pressing southward and trying to traverse this non-existent or fabled Giju Passage to the west, and I do fear that many colonists might lose their lives this way along that treacherous region of space, but I do not think a blockade is the answer. They will simply find another way to try to circumvent and reach their destination.
Oh, this is really metagamey, but I don't know if no interdiction technology does exist at this point. The Starforge, or not the Starforge, Malik ship had that. Anyway.
Yep.
Leviathan?
Yes.
Yeah, the Leviathan. I'm not going to say that though.
Invoke the name of an ancient Sith Lord's ship. Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, because I'm imagining interdiction technology is not that advanced. Because that was celestial in construction, I believe. My character would know this. Anyway.
Yep.
Well, we were just trying to touch base with all the relevant parties involved before we head out on any leads we have of who could have been behind the attacks and all the other misdoings that have been going on.
Of course.
How do I put this? I'm sure you remember at the meeting when I brought up my concerns about the mysterious ships and their potentially stolen the stolen designs of them.
Yes.
I have well, I don't have reason to suspect that Republic Fleet Systems was, of course, behind it. As I said at the meeting, I did meticulous checking of both their official data and financial data, going through the raw material import of raw materials that were specific to what happened and all that. And I didn't really find anything that suggested that they were involved in any way. However, despite myself being the only surviving engineer, there were other people involved with the project that were who did have access to some of that data. And however, I've been since retired from Republic Fleet Systems for 30 years, and well, to be frank, my exit wasn't that from them. It wasn't that cordial, you could say.
Yes, I've admittedly done a bit of research since your arrival.
So I don't know if this if we end up at a dead end and with Brent's Hall, I think our next course of action would be somewhere along that lines. Though I don't know how far I could get going with them. In trying to get some more of the sensitive data that's been of the happenings of since I've arrived, particularly with the whereabouts of their former employees. I was wondering if you could help with some legitimacy in our in some way of a warrant, you could say, that would help us in investigating anyone involved in the leaking of Republic trade secrets.
I am able, at the least, to put forward the motion to the Senate, but depending on how many individuals might feel they have secrets to protect, be they proprietary or otherwise, it may prove difficult to have the full range of access you may hope for.
I suspected as much, as well as the fact that putting a motion in the Senate would likely get bogged down in tireless debates, as they usually do.
Well, no comment.
Hmm.
I will do what I can, but I am unfortunately not a supreme authority.
Understandable. Checks and balances being are among the many things I quite love about the Republic's way of doing things.
An irksome necessity, my predecessor used to say.
Thank you for your time, and thank you in advance for anything. I'm assuming at this point none of you guys have anything for him.
No.
Yeah.
I'm hiding. Is JWD made it back to the Visaris yet?
I should have by now.
Yeah, he wasn't too far behind you. Prince Jonash rather quickly dismissed him because he had places to be.
Well, he found it locked and he couldn't get in.
So probably just kind of tracked your movements and came up behind you guys. Is like, I can't get back on the ship.
I just bang on the landing ramp. It's like, let me in.
We do have comm links now that are set up with each other.
Yeah.
How do I know you guys didn't change the frequency on me? You guys locked the ship on me.
You were there when I locked the ship. You know I locked the ship.
Okay. So I try to reach. I try to reach.
All
Fagrin.
three of us at the same time.
Yeah, I essentially just try to reach all three of you. It's like, can somebody please open the land? Can somebody please open up the landing ramp?
Oh, we're not there anymore. We went back to the palace.
Yeah, we'll be back in like an hour.
All right. So plan B, I start hitting the keypad. 1111.
Break my ship.
1112.
You have entered 12 incorrect key combinations. The ship will shut down. No.
It's been locked out. It locks out after 15.
And then it's now sending like a communique to reset the ship's password.
Yeah.
It's like
You try to brute force the ship entry and it doesn't work. Yeah, after a few tries, it locks down and is like, security access required.
okay. Since I'm in a hangar, hold on. Since I'm in a hangar, Can I make a perception check to look around for some tools, specifically a fusion cutter?
The tools from the mechanics team packed up their stuff well. They're not just going to leave tools like that lying around. You can try to requisition such things, but you will,
You're a droid.
And, yeah.
We're just going to come back and the ship's going to be all falling apart again.
All right, hold on. Oh, wait. Is it possible I can? Okay, is it possible I can sneak into like a back room, probably where they're keeping their tools? Can I do that?
Roll for stealth.
You're a very large battle.
No, I'm not large. I'm a medium-sized battle droid, so about that of a person.
The height of a very tall person.
I got a 16.
All right. Guess I actually have to look up their perception.
I think there is a penalty for large. Hold on, let me look at
No, I'm medium. I'm not large.
You don't belong there, though.
Juggernaut war droids are only like 1.95 meters, so it's about as tall as a person.
But with the wardrobe,
Okay.
wandering around the hangar, it's going to get noticed.
So what happens as you try to sneak into the mechanics bay? A handful of them just sort of look over in your direction as you're trying to sneak around and like through the lockers. Just, can I help you?
I turn to them and say, I just turn to them. Can I do a persuade check?
Sure.
No, wait, no. Is it persuade or deception? No.
Well, are you going to lie to them?
No,
Yeah,
I'm not going to lie. It's like I'm looking for some tools. One of the hull plates on my ship has come loose.
They just
That's deception.
Yeah, total deception.
That would be deception.
Would it be deception?
Yeah, you're telling a lie.
Or
It's
am I
deception.
persuading them to come with me to help fix this hull plate?
They just worked on the ship and they know it's not damaged. So
You are speaking an untruth to try to get someone to do something.
Okay, fine. We'll do deception. All right. Is this in play? If it falls on the floor, is it in play?
You can see the result. That's what I've been doing.
I'll just reroll. Screw it. 17.
Okay.
Mm.
The DC is raised because they caught you sneaking in. So...
Welcome to the solo adventures of 000, everybody.
No. They just sort of look to you as, is your master around?
Do they have restraining bolts?
Negative.
they might try to put restraining bolts on.
You're an unusual model. Where are you from?
Oh God, I gotta look this up. I gotta look this up. I knew. Is it one? Is that an actual place? Hold on. Doesn't seem like. I am from Corellia. I'm just gonna go with that.
All right. Sorry, there's a problem with your ship. You can tell your pilot or master to make a formal inquiry, make a work order, and we'll see to it.
Great. Thank you. And then I just walk out of the room.
Okay.
Okay, so now Can I go to another nearby hangar bay?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to look around for someone who is working on their ship. Like someone just really working on their ship.
Okay. Okay.
Perception.
There's like a spot two hangars over that has a docking berth that has a ship that is apparently undergoing some basic routine maintenance, and there's a mechanics crew going over it. Appear to be.
All right. Can I do a perception on how busy they are working on the ship?
How do you mean how busy? Like it appears to be.
Like how many people are working on it? Like I'm wanting to know is everyone like working on not paying attention to where like their toolkits are and their equipment? Is what I'm like.
Not actively. They're performing the routine maintenance, so they're not carefully watching their things.
Okay. I'm gonna sneak inside the hangar bay. All right, let's try this again.
Mm-hmm.
That one was a. That one was a 9.
Okay. Yeah. You start closing in and drawing near one of their tool kits, and you just hear a voice from behind. Excuse me, droid. Gonna need you to come with me. And you turn around and see a couple of spaceport security standing there with hands on their weapons.
Good thing I didn't buy you guys holdout blasters.
I was wondering how long it would take for security showed up for a suspicious droid.
I was wondering how long it would take for us to get there. I told them an hour.
Of course. Can you please page my master, Zaylen Farr?
We can do that.
What?
He is making me steal equipment.
That's another deception.
Roll a deception check.
Wow, wait, why is it deception?
Because you're lying.
No, okay, I'm lying, but here's the thing. They already have a what do you call it? A perception about me that, I'm only following what my master says. I'm not a free thinking droid to them, generally. So
It's still a deception.
all right. 17.
Okay. Very good. We're still going to need you to come with us. We will get a hold of your master.
Of course.
All right. You are escorted to a holding cell, and Zaylon, you are calmed here shortly.
Yeah.
Captain Farr, we have your droid here. You're going to have to come and file for his release.
Droid?
Yeah.
I don't own a droid. We have Prince Jonas E. Solo has assigned a droid to us, but I have not seen him for over an hour now.
Yeah, that's the
He
one.
is lying. He is lying. He gave ownership to Zaylin Farr.
You're in a holding cell. I don't think you can hear this conversation.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Right?
I can hear you guys. I can hear Zaylin left his comm mic on. I can just hear it. I can just hear him like through my internal systems.
So, Captain Farr, we know about the task force. We know the droid has been assigned to the task force. We're going to need you to keep a better eye on the droid.
All right. We'll do. We are leaving the palace now. We will be there shortly.
All right. As you guys are headed back, another individual does find you in the holding cell. Sorry.
Matt is just gonna, once Matt sees us, he's just gonna be like, probably like face palming.
Probably. This guy shows up. This is Prince Jonash's aide, who had handed you over, Muizata, Ulrasel Muizata. And he arrives and, so I was alerted, JWD, about your incarceration.
They locked me out of the ship.
Yes. How should I put this, JWD? I'm aware that you can be... Your programming allows for hiccups in interpersonal interactions. Perhaps you could inquire with your new captain and his friends if they might be willing to go through your programming and see if you and your new associates can reach some sort of understanding where you will not be finding yourself incarcerated on every planet.
I look at him and it's like, this is acceptable.
Good. Because we would like for your presence in this task force to be productive. And, well, if you are drawing undue attention to the task force, well, you do know that I have advocated for your not receiving regular memory wipes, JWD, so I would appreciate if you do not make a fool out of me.
Of course, sir. However, I never mentioned your name in any conversations.
Yes, but you see, the thing about integrity is that I will know. Well, I trust this has been an illuminating exchange, and I must return to the prince. Be well, JWD, and perhaps don't destroy the vessel.
That was not my intention, sir. But I agree.
Thank you. And
Farewell, master.
he departs, and shortly thereafter, the rest of you arrive back at the spaceport and find JWD in the holding cell, and are able to file for his release if you wish.
All right. I asked the guard, may I see him while he's still in the cell?
Maybe what? Sorry?
May I see him before he's released from the cell? Will you escort me to his cell so I may speak with him?
Yes. And he guides you back to the holding cell.
JWD, will you come to the edge of the cell for a moment before I have these gentlemen release you?
I walk over, but just far enough that your hand cannot reach inside.
A little bit closer, JWD. If you're telling them that you're my droid, then that means you should be listening to my orders.
I think this will suffice, sir.
I don't. I need you a little bit closer here so we can have a discussion and come to an understanding.
Oh dear.
I feel like I need to have a med pack ready.
How
If you're
about we discuss it? How about we discuss this on the ship?
If you're
How much are-
treating me as your master, I need to know you'll listen to what I tell you. So if you can't even do that,
Can I make a perception check to see if he has anything in his hands?
I have nothing in my hand.
Can I make a perception or no?
He has told the game master he has nothing in his hand, so the game master is telling him.
I approach the edge of the cell then,
I go into my utility belt and pull out a restraining order.
I quickly now I quickly jolt back.
All right, I guess you don't want to be let out of the cell.
I will not take to
Initiative.
your.
If we're gonna do this.
Yeah, I will, but isn't that how many actions is that? How many actions is it to reach into his bag, find a restraining bolt, and then put it
Technically,
Move
in
action.
and then put it on?
I'm not trying to forcibly put it on you. That's why I have the guard here, so I can put it on easily.
It's his thing. It's either put it on me or I don't get released from the cell. And I'm not playing this game with restraining bolt.
if it comes to that, that will not be the case. Just so everyone is aware, I don't want one of the players to be on a restraining bolt perpetually. So.
Is
Um,
I'm assuming that his Jonas's aide has left.
Yeah, he's left at this point.
Okay, so I have no idea that he's been here.
Nope.
so can I do I roll to prevent the restraining bolt through initiative or?
I'm
Here's the
not
thing.
trying to forcibly put it on.
Here's the thing. If we're legitimately gonna start going into PvP here, it's gonna be a situation of.
I'm not gonna play PvP.
No, I know.
I'm not-
That's what I'm saying. Like if
I'm not
that is the situation, like that needs to be resolved out of
Right.
game, because I don't want it to be a recurring thing.
No, I'm not gonna have it be a recurring thing.
WD, here's the thing. You try to take over my captain quarters. You apparently, from what the guards are telling me, you were trying to force your way onto the ship and were out around trying to steal material. I have some reservations. We have to come to an agreement here if I'm going to take responsibility for you.
I agree. However, I am a free-thinking droid. However, I did not steal your captain's quarters from you.
You only left after I had witnesses asked to remove you from the ship.
Did he ask or did two just pass? I'm pretty sure two just passed by, right?
People were all over the ship at that
right,
point.
and then I
They
asked
asked
them.
specifically if I wanted you removed.
They asked specifically, yes, but I was essentially just in the room admiring what was going on, like admiring the craftsmanship of that room. I'm a droid. I like to look around and see things. But anyway, it was nothing to be captain of anything. So,
if you will agree not to, since you made everyone know I'm responsible for you, you have to be a little more discreet and maybe not act in such manner as you have today.
you have locked me out of the ship.
I've locked everyone out of the ship. Everyone's locked out of the ship but me. You saw me lock the ship when we left.
You
originally.
changed the passcode.
No, I didn't. I just never gave you the passcode.
I entered in the passcode to lock the ship, though.
How did you have a passcode when you weren't given a passcode?
Because I was plugged into the ship.
Yeah, but that doesn't give you access to the captain's codes. Are you going to be more discreet in the future?
Yeah. I mean, I was trying to be discreet about this, what I was doing.
Maybe not try to act in this way that would make me look bad in the light of authorities. Is that agreeable then?
This is acceptable terms.
All right, I turn to the guard. Will you please release him?
Yes, sir. And the holding cell powers down.
I walk by and I apologize and thank you for releasing me. Now let's get off this planet. And then I just continue walking.
All right. You guys all head back towards the Visari,
Mm-hmm.
having maybe determined your next destination and maybe figured out a group dynamic that is agreeable to all parties. We'll pick it up there next time and see where see where you go in the galaxy, where events might take you. And hopefully, as you depart, there will be your other Jedi who is going to be catching up and heading out with you. All right. So, yeah, we'll call it there. And thanks for playing.